The White House has confirmed that President Donald Trump is actively considering a US role in Iran after the conclusion of the American-Israeli operation. Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt has said that Trump is in discussions with his advisors and national security team regarding any potential post-war involvement. Meanwhile, President Trump is set to attend a dignified transfer ceremony for US troops killed in the ongoing war with Iran. Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt stated that Trump intends to stand in grief alongside the families of these fallen heroes, though no date for the ceremony has been set yet. And the White House has also declared that Iran's regime is being absolutely crushed under the leadership of President Donald Trump in the ongoing war. Karoline Leavitt also stated that 47 years of tolerating Iran's status as a state sponsor of terrorism are coming to an end, and Iran's leadership is paying for their actions. Let's in fact listen to what the White House press secretary had to say.
Under the leadership of President Donald J. Trump, the rogue Iranian terrorist regime is being absolutely crushed. 47 years of tolerating and enabling the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism are over. Iran's murderous terrorist leaders are paying for their crimes against America, and they are paying.
Now joining us live, we have retired Major General Sidakaji, who is a senior geopolitical and strategic expert in Jaipur. Good morning to you, Major General Sidakaji. First question to you, and thank you so much for coming on the show today. First question to you, do you think that the United States will learn from their mistakes in the Iraq war, considering their thinking of involvement in Iran after the war finishes?
Good morning, Ruby. Thank you for inviting me for your show, and greetings to your viewers. As far as the question is concerned, with regard to the preamble that you have given, I don't think United States is going in the right direction. They need to introspect, make course correction. Otherwise, maybe the declining status of superpower would be actually speeding up very fast, and they may lose the status of supremacy and authority in the world order. They are only adding on to the geopolitical churn. They're intensifying the complexity. This is not going to actually pave a roadmap for a productive, progressive, and forward-looking, peaceful world order in 21st century. Now, having said this, allow me to dilate with regard to your question. You took the reference of Iraq. Now, this is going to turn out to be worse than Iraq. Iraq was a different ballgame. I do understand they also have Shiite-dominated kind of a regime. It is a smaller state in comparison with Iran. Iran is a bigger civilizational state or nation. And the 47 years of the regime, the theocratic regime, has to be understood in totality. And also it has to be understood that in order to rout or eliminate terrorism, there is a method in madness. That method in madness is not by knocking off the head of the organization. Whole nation cannot be branded as terrorist. There are far and few people who may be indulged in it. And by knocking off the head, one has actually antagonized the people. There was a difference of opinion. There was divide amongst the civil population. My take right from the day one of past 5 or 6 days of this conflict is that this external attack by Israel and USA is going to galvanize the nation. It will ignite that the spark of nationalism. People will come together. It is not, you cannot draw parallel of Iraq and Libya. Libya perhaps was the closest one. When the aerial bombing was going on, the civil population had come together. There was a revolution, and that's how they could succeed to an extent. But over here in Iran, it's a different ballgame. Maybe Israel and USA would do well to apply themselves and carry out mid-course correction, so that it shouldn't happen that they're heading the path of a second Vietnam, wherein they came back bruised and with injuries on the face, with sullen faces from Vietnam. They didn't even know what was the political objective and what was the military objective of going into Vietnam, and lost so many people, killed so many people. And USA as a superpower was virtually kicked out by forces inimical from Vietnam. So therefore, it will do them good to carry out analysis, understand Iran properly, never underestimate the enemy with regard to the military capability, as also the politico, socio-cultural, economic strength, despite the fact that the economy is in shambles. Back to you, Ruby.
Now, Major General, in the case that we do see a complete wiping out of the Islamic regime, and we have seen deaths of many members of the leadership and bureaucracy of the Islamic regime, in this case we could have a possible vacuum of power if the US does not play an active role in ruling Iran. The US hopes for a people's uprising and has called for the Iranian people to rise up against the Islamic regime. I believe they've been hitting police stations in an effort to reduce some of that domestic political pressure that is on the Iranian people. Iran, of course, also deals with ethnic divisions, as well as you were saying, this impact of theocratic rule for decades. What do you think we could see as a possible power sharing scenario when this war is finished? Could we see a democratic rule for the Iranian people, or will it just turn out to be a moderate version of the Islamic regime that is more agreeable to Trump's demands?
Excellent, brilliant question. I must compliment you for focusing on the central issue. Brilliant question. You see, that's what I have been laying a lot of emphasis on Iran, understanding Iran. Iran is a country with a population of 90 million, around 9 crores. Compare it with Venezuela. Venezuela is just about, I think, 2 crores or something, less than that. Look at the size of Venezuela with Iran. Why am I drawing parallel is that the Maduro and his wife, they could be hijacked at middle of the night. Over here, hijacking was a tall order, so they went in for a surgical precision targeted strike, I would say. Okay, fine. They took the supreme leader and 49 other people, the topmost leaders. They have also taken the lives of, if I recall correctly, almost close to 170 school children, girl children, along with the teachers. Also a volleyball team comprising of, I think, 10 or 20 of them, they were also knocked off. Now, I'm sure somewhere in the leadership there is a corner for morality and ethics of warfare. It's fine. I'm not, by no means am I siding with terrorism or anything. So under these circumstances, one has to see, does these kind of activities, external attack or external effort to intervene or put somebody who's pro-democratic in nature, will people of Iran who have adopted Sharia law for past 47 years or been under the theocratic rules and the structure, will they be amenable to accept a change like this? So therefore, what am I trying to highlight? I am highlighting the change transformation. When you talk about change transformation, what it means is it goes through a process of denial, thereafter resistance, thereafter reconciliation, then the adaptation, and finally it takes the shape of acceptance. Now this is going to be a long drawn affair. It is on a spectrum of all these activities. So therefore, is America or Israel, are they prepared for a long haul? I don't think so. They simply want a quick result so that Donald Trump can be awarded Peace Prize, Nobel Peace Prize. Warfare is not about the Nobel Peace Prize. Warfare is a lot of commitment, a lot of sacrifices made by the soldiers. They have a cause. What is the cause of USA to go in for a fight against Iran here without having studied the nitty-gritties of Iran, the capability of Iran? Iran has been pushed to a corner. I'm also a well-wisher of a superpower. I want a superpower. All of us want a superpower. It is something better than nothing. Somebody to guide the world order into some kind of a progressive, forward-looking direction. Unfortunately, that is not so. It has happened off the cuff. in a jiffy. They just found that some information came their way, and suddenly there was a contestation between Israel and the USA. USA thought, why should Israel take the credit? Let's go in and hit them first. So in some quarter you find Marco Rubio is saying something, J.D. Vance is saying something, Donald Trump is saying something, Israel is saying something. So news platforms also, they are reporting in a different way. At places you find America has hit them. At places you find Israel has hit them. So that apart, what I am coming to is that coming to the centrality of your question, power sharing, I think it's a big question. It's a very tall order. Nobody in Iran will ever accept anybody coming from outside. Whoever is the regime head now, they have to kill him. They have threatened to neutralize him. They say anyone who comes as a supreme leader is going to be assassinated. Well, is that the way the new world order has to evolve? I don't know. I'm a well-wisher of a positive, progressive, and peaceful world order. All these mindless conflicts must come to an end. Second question you have asked is that will Iran ever show some signature of changing its attitude? Yes, you did not use the word of attitude, but I am saying that factor of attitude is actually evolving. 79% people live in urban areas. 27% people live in rural areas. So the people who are in urban areas, they don't have employment opportunities. Price rise is actually hitting them hard. Yet there is a change of attitude, gradual change of attitude. This has to be calibrated. In case somebody wants that democracy must come back to Iran, then it has to be built in a gradual, nurtured in a gradual, systematic, incremental manner, not the way it has been done. Back to you.
Exactly. Major General, please stay with us as we move to our next update.